Hello, everyone. Happy Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day for all the fathers out there. Welcome to another week of The Uncomfortable Truth. I'm your host, Mr. Mark McBride. And as you can see, Mrs. JB is not with us tonight. I want everybody out there to wish her a healthy and speedy recovery. She had some health issues she had to get taken care of, but I'm just here to let everybody know she is resting and well. Okay, the doctors went in and did what they had to do, and she is now recovering. So we want to make sure that we wish her a speedy recovery so she can get back to her life, her children, and the show. All right, so for tonight's topics, let's go ahead and get to the first one without any further ado. But before I do, all those out there that have not joined the show yet and have not subscribed, make sure you do so. And hit that notification bell so you can know when we are live and when we are going in with some new content. And for all those that are new, if you have anything that you want us to stop and talk about immediately, go ahead and hit the super chat. All right, we'll go ahead and put that up there and we'll read your comment and we'll stop everything and we'll talk about it right here live. All right, the first topic of the evening, targeted single mothers. All right. And I know that for those individuals who have been on the show and have heard all the statistics and all the things I've talked about when it comes to single mothers, you already got an idea of what you think I'm going to say and how you think I'm going to say it. It's something totally different and something totally new. I've went through these situations and these stats several times, and now I'm starting to dig a little deeper. And I want to figure out why. Why is it that we know all these types of things? Why do we know these numbers and they still continue to flourish? They still continue to grow. Why is it that we're okay? Why is it that our government is okay knowing that these results are happening on a daily basis and we are still continuing to do nothing? Well, that's what we're going to cover and we're going to talk about today. The next topic is know when to let go of your child. You got to know when to let go. And this goes for everyone. This is not just for mothers. This is not just for fathers, everybody, but we'll get deeper into that. And last but not least, I think everybody needs a real healthy case of healthy fear. Everybody needs a nice sermon of healthy fear. And when I say that, well, you know what? We'll wait till we get to that bridge and then we'll cross it then. I just want everybody to understand that, first of all, whatever I say on this show, if the shoe doesn't fit, don't try to wear it. Secondly, our number one goal is to always try to help. Regardless of what you think about me, regardless of what you may think about the people who come on the panel and on the show, you have to understand that the reason why we do this is to help each other, help us as a whole and as a people and as a community. All right? So without further ado, Mr. Operator. Oh, wait, before we do that, everybody out there in Mr. Facebook land and Instagram land, what I need y'all to do is, if you are watching live right now, I would love for you to go from where you are on Facebook over here to YouTube so we can actually see your comments and you can interact with the other individuals. And if you need be, if you got something you really would like to say, you can actually join the show. The link is at the top of the comment section. If you go to my Facebook page, you can actually see the link if you don't have it there, but it's easy to find. Go to YouTube and go to Atlanta Cast Network, subscribe, hit the notification bell, then click on the live tab and you will be part of the show. All right, so let's go ahead, Mr. Operator, and let's play that first video. There's a series of 3 for the first topic. Let's play the first one, please.
Girls with no fathers in the home have lower self-esteem. No father families more likely to be victims of abuse, especially with single mothers.
Stop. Stop.
Uh-oh.
It says children that come from single mother homes are more likely to suffer abuse and more likely to have self-esteem issues. Okay. Go back a second.
No father families more likely to be victims of abuse, especially with single mothers. Children with high BMI more often come from fatherless homes. Here's something. Fathers have the fittest children. That was really interesting to me. The more opportunities a child has to interact with biological father, the less likely they are to commit a crime or have contact with the juvenile justice system. Okay, another way to say that is men and women who are incarcerated the population of the prisons mostly encompass fatherless homes.
So you have single mothers who right now are all over social media. They're getting BBLs.
And they're getting praised too.
We saw sisters on the pod. She said she was single. Remember, the sister said she's not married. The brother said, "Are you married?" She said, "No." He says, "How did I know you wasn't married?"
Right.
But the point is this. Single sisters are to blame for the high population of men in jail, or people, or brothers and sisters in prison. And nobody talks about that. They'll say, "Oh, but the man ain't there."
Right.
Oh,
He
well,
left.
He left. What about the man?
Okay, so we've heard this before. We've heard this before. We've heard me say this before. But there's a reason why I played that, because I want to just refresh your memory of those specific statistics and those outcomes. So we're aware. If we're aware, that means our government is aware, state and federal. So I want you to think about that, and I want you to keep that in mind when you watch the next video. Operator, go ahead and push play now. All right, we're having some technical difficulties. He'll get that up and going, I'm pretty sure, here in a second. Now, while they're getting that together backstage, I want you to understand that there's a reason. There's always a reason. And we've been so caught up on the results and how it affects us that we stop digging for the reason. If we know that single mothers being put in a certain situation and circumstances is giving us results to our children on an annual basis, generation after generation, why isn't having someone or something stepped up to try to prevent that? If that's what law is for, if it's to serve and protect the community that those laws are instilled for, why is it that we have individuals in office that are looking at these statistics every day, every year, watching them go up, watching them increase, but we continue to do nothing? And I said, you know what? There's a reason. And I know there's a reason. And I'm going to find it. But before I steal my thunder, I'm going to allow that second video to play because I don't want to spoil it for y'all.
Looks like it's dead. It's dead.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to resend it to you because it is detrimental. That video is extremely detrimental. When I say it's okay, I'll even if I have to play it on my side, we'll do it that way. But I want everybody to understand that money is the root of all evil. And we know that. We know that money is the root of all evil. So anything that you want to find, if you want to find the answer to a problem, I've always said to myself, you got to follow the money. You got to follow the money. You follow the money, and the money will show you the truth. So, is there people making money, literally making millions and billions of dollars by keeping our children in single mother homes?
Shit!
Are single mother homes targeted by a specific group of people who are making significant amounts of money off of the statistics, off of the results of single mothers? That is what I want to talk about today, but I don't want to give it to you because it's kind of hard to believe the person who's actually trying to make the point, Because if I'm trying to make the point and it's going to fit my narrative, it's going to be hard for you to really trust what I have to say. So I would love for you to hear from someone else. And I would love for you to hear the actual statistics and facts and know where to find them. But I'm going to cover it regardless. If we can't get this video going, I'm going to cover it myself. I don't care if I got to play it from my side. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to play it on my end, and you're probably only going to hear the audio, but that's probably the most important. All right, here we go.
But the private prison makes its money either way. Let me explain. First thing to understand about the private prison business is that they're actually government contractors. They enter into a contract. Now, in that contract, they talk about a bunch of different things, but one of those things is price. Let's say it costs $100 a day to house an inmate. Well, naturally, any for-profit company is going to add a little bit of buffer in there so that way they can make a profit. So the private prison may charge the government $125, $150 per day per inmate, for example. Now that's price. But another thing that might be in that contract is a thing called bed guarantees. This is where the government guarantees the prison that at least 90% of those beds will always be occupied for the duration of the contract. Yeah, the government guarantees it in a contract, which might leave you wondering, how can the government be so sure that that many people will commit crimes? And the better question, what happens if they don't? Want to know what would happen if we all obeyed the law? The government would have to pay a fee to the private prison. Shit! It's in the contract. For every empty bed that is not filled, for every law-abiding citizen that stays on the straight and narrow, the government is punished by having to pay a fee. And that's when you realize citizens are punished when they do commit crimes. The state governments are punished if they don't.
And the prisons make their money either way. The prisons make their money either way, regardless if you are in there or not. So let me ask you, ladies and gentlemen, if you were in charge and you knew that, hey, we can save almost $150 per inmate per room in the entire country, just think about that number. Because for the government to operate the exact same thing, it would cost almost double the amount. Double. So if somebody else comes in with a contract and says, hey, you know what? I'll take care of it for you for $150 per inmate. Now, in that clause, if I don't get someone in that, if my occupancy goes below 90%, I'm charging you a certain amount of money per inmate, per room, per prison. Just think about that for a second, ladies and gentlemen. This is a $72 billion annually industry. Shit! $72 billion. So, before I go any further, there's a third video. Do we have that, radio operator?
If you, like me, are sick and tired of for-profit prison systems, then listen up, because I have an idea. You know how clothing is required to say where it's made from or what it's made out of? You know how food is required to have the nutrition facts on it? You know how products are required to have the ingredients on them? You know how companies love to advertise cruelty-free products? You know how companies love to talk about cage-free eggs? My question is, why do we not also require companies to label products made using prison labor? Hundreds of companies use cheap prison labor to make their products and then turn hundreds of millions of dollars of profit. The for-profit prison system in America is a billion-dollar industry. Prisoners make between 14 cents and $2 an hour to make these products that corporations are making millions of dollars on. Well, I'm starting a petition. The link is in my bio. I want to petition lawmakers to pass a law that states if your company uses prison labor to make whole or in part your product, then it must be labeled so the American consumer knows that it was made using prison labor. Mass incarceration is a huge problem in this country, and until we end the for-profit prison system, it will not go away. The first step towards that is making the American consumer aware of the products they are buying. As soon as I get 1 million signatures, I'm going to take this petition to Capitol Hill myself and find a lawmaker to introduce it into Congress. Go to the link in my bio, sign the petition, share this video, and let's get this law passed.
With all that information, It'd be very foolish for someone to come on this show right now and call me a fool. Tell me I'm lying, I'm out of my mind. Scratch a lie, find a thief. We are sitting up here talking about black people, black men are in Texas and in Louisiana right now in prison-made cotton farms picking cotton in 2023.
That's right.
There is a laundry list of companies out there. That's the reason why he's putting in that petition that make profit off of prisoners picking the materials necessary to make their products. And our single black mothers are the field grounds. You are the resources. You are the birth mothers of their workers. We are talking modern day slavery, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking 2023, black men, chain gang, pulling cotton for pennies. Men on horseback with shotguns, following them up and down the fields while they pick cotton. And they are making us separate, putting our children in the worst situations and circumstances that they know of, that's going to give them the highest chance to be right there picking that damn cotton. While we've been sitting here arguing like fools, pointing the fingers at each other. I want to read something. I was doing some research and I found this article. And this article goes all the way back to 1996. So this ain't nothing new. All right? 37.8% of single mothers are divorced. 41% never married. And 6.5% of widows. This is Brookings Institute, Assuming Impact of Welfare Reform of Single Mothers. And this is 3/22/04 that was actually written. All right. The strongest predictor of whether a person will end up in prison is that they are raised by a single parent. C.C. Harper and S.S. McClellan, Father Absent Youth Incarceration, paper presented in the annual meeting of American Association, San Francisco, California, 1998.
Message.
Father Absent and Youth Incarceration. That's the name of it. That's the title. Father Absent and Youth Incarceration. In 1996, 70% of inmates in state juvenile detention centers served long sentences were raised by single mothers. June 6, 1997. And these numbers have done nothing but increase. Children brought up in single mother homes are 5 times more likely to commit suicide, 9 times more likely to drop out of high school, 10 times more likely to abuse chemical substances, 14 times more likely to commit rape, 20 times more likely to end up in prison, and 32 times more likely to run away from home.
Shit!
I've been on this show for almost a year now, and I have spewed out these numbers in attempts to point blame. And today I apologize for that. I am mature enough to know when I'm wrong. But we also have to understand that we are part of a system that is fueling people's pockets with our children. And if we do nothing about it, we're just as guilty. we are just as guilty as the individuals putting our sons in chains and making them pick cotton in 2023. If we stand by and do nothing about it, if we stand by and still continue to worry about our Gucci bags and our Prada and our Christian Dior shoes and shirts and trips, our flowing long hair, jewelry on our ears and neck, while billionaires profit off of the backs of a statistical category that they push children inside of. All of this rhetoric and all this notion that we see on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, et cetera, TVs, movies, and music is all pushing our children in a funnel straight to prison. The pharmaceutical companies are having the food and it's making us sick, so we're always on these drugs, and they want our families split up so our children are more likely to be 2023 slaves. While we argue over bullshit. This ain't Fox News. This ain't CNN. I'm going to say what the fuck I want. Call your congressman. I don't give a fuck. This is what it is. It ain't about you being a strong, independent woman. It ain't about you being a stand-up man. If we don't come together and wake the fuck up, our grandkids will be on those horses' backs, dead, shot in the back because they refuse to pick cotton, or dying from heat stroke because they didn't pay their child support. If you're okay hearing this information and it doesn't infuriate, it doesn't make you so mad that you're willing to lose everything, you're part of the problem. And I know what some of you are saying right now. Well, what did they do to put themselves in that situation? They were damned from the beginning. They knew. %72 of juvenile murderers and 60% of rapists come from single mother homes. You don't think they know that? That's why they're trying to keep you out the house, gentlemen. That's why they're monetizing single mothers. That's why they're incentivizing single motherhood. That's why they're promoting single motherhood. I want y'all to go back with me for a second. I want you to go back to 2007, 8, 9, and 10. I want you to think about some of the songs. Neo. What was that song? She's independent. That's why I love her. Just so happened, Boosie and Webby come out. IND, independent. Think about it. Go back and listen to all those songs that had the same message. Independent, independent, independent. Don't need a man. I like a girl who got her own shit. You think that was a coincidence? Do you think it was a coincidence?
Nope.
But they're not going to come out and admit. They're not going to come out and admit, yeah, we was told that we would get an extra this, that, and the third if we made a song about independent women. Didn't Beyonce have a song also? Destiny's Child has a song also? This shit goes deeper. JB is watching. What's up, baby girl? She said, a single motherhood never goes away. How do we fix it? This is how we fix it. We will never get rid of single motherhood. It's mathematically impossible. Men, we have to understand that just a man in the neighborhood makes a difference for our boys and girls. We know that, okay, that piece of shit got her pregnant. Got it. Okay. We got to get over that. We have to start stepping up and saving our boys and saving our girls, even if they ain't ours. I'm not saying for every single man to go and marry somebody just because they got, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we need to start more programs in our neighborhoods where our kids that don't have fathers have a man in their life, because that alone will cut these numbers in half. We can't sit back as men and say you picked wrong anymore. We can't sit back as men and say, hey, you should have made better choices. Now that we see it's a trap. It's a trap. They're being set up. The women don't know. We didn't know. But now we do. We have to. We got to save ourselves. We got to save our own. Now, are we going to stop the massive number of individuals having kids out of wedlock? Probably not. Probably not. This sexual, hypersexual generation is just going to get worse before it gets better. But as stand-up men and women, we got to get out here and we have to do something to put men in front of these kids, because they know taking men away from them gets them into these situations and circumstances. Hell, I'm not going to lie. I'm a businessman. If I knew I could set up a situation where the majority of these people will remain employees, paying taxes, doing cheap labor for the government, saving me millions and millions of dollars, would I do it too? Would I have done that too? Maybe not at the detriment of the people that as I know of right now, I wouldn't have went that far. But shit, I understand. I see the business plan. It's business. But it's at the detriment of our children. They're dying, suffering, not able to prosper because of the start of the race. These individuals are so far behind, they can never catch up. A single father home is only 16% less successive than a two-parent home. So, of course, they're not going to push the children to the men, because men teach fear of consequence just with their presence. Women lead with love, care, nurturing. They're not the natural enforcers. And if they are an enforcer, a 13-year-old boy is going to lose the fear of his mother once he hits his puberty. I don't care what you're saying, ladies. You can think you're as tough as you want to. 15-year-old boy will fuck you up. And he knows it. But he's just not going to do that. But as soon as a man steps in front of him, that Adam's apple takes one big gulp. So as men, this is who I'm talking to today. I'm not talking to the women today. That's another day. That's another program. Today, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to us. We can no longer stand by and point the fingers at our women, knowing that they have been set up for failure. Not as individuals, but for our seeds. You cannot sit here and look at these numbers and look at the money that is being produced from these numbers and think that they're not connected. You got to be one of the dumbest people on earth if that's the conclusion you've come up with. I'm not the smartest man on earth. I've never claimed to be. All of you on Facebook, I need you to come over to YouTube right now. Please, I need you to come to YouTube right now. Atlanta Cast Network, Uncomfortable Truth. I need your comments. I need, especially the men that are watching right now, to come over here, and we need to come together with a solution today. Damn, just a good-ass speech. Damn, just some good-ass information that you can go and pass to someone else. I don't like bringing up problems without solutions. These numbers are from 1996. Do you think they're the same? No, they're not the same. They've gotten worse, which means their money has gotten increasingly better, more profitable, more lucrative. And we stand by and just point fingers at our women. I always thought that it was a plot just to separate us so we couldn't grow. That's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, I understand. There was a trap made to make black people separate, split up the black family so we couldn't grow and we couldn't one day take over this nation. That's what I always thought. That's what I thought the big fucking plan was. But no, they don't give a damn about you being married or not. They want your kids. They want your son. They want your daughter behind bars picking cotton. Y'all think I'm bullshitting. Y'all think I'm playing. Go online right now. Look it up. Texas, Louisiana. Prison cotton farms. If you're okay with that, you're going to get what you deserve. If you're okay with that being in the world right now, today, you're going to get what you deserve. As you should. But I will not be the one that just runs my mouth and does nothing. You better bet your ass that before the close of 2023, you will see something created by these two hands. And if I could just make a quarter of a percent dent in that number, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something. If I got to try to push as many people into the military, whatever I can do. Because I'd rather you die next to your brother and sister on a battlefield than to sit up here and die for nothing behind some bars making somebody money. And I know what somebody's going to say. Hell, they probably over there for money too. And I probably can't argue that fact either. But I'll be damned if I stand by and watch my young brothers and sisters be funneled from house to prison house with someone's intent and they're successful. And I do nothing. Just because I'm blessed. Just because I made it out. I was raised by my grandfather. He instilled the fear of consequence. And now that I said that, that helps me transition to my next topic of the night, which is know when to let go of your child. Mr. Operator, if you could play that next video for me, please.
Have a guess at how much worse kids are around their mother compared to any other human in their life.
So is there a percentage
Yeah.
here?
It's a percentage. So is it 10% worse?
Up to 100?
More than 100.
Can't you only get 100%? I know you're trying a big ball here, but
Just in the research paper.
well, they've got to research percentages.
Children are 800% worse around their mother than they are any other person in their life.
That sucks.
Scientific fact.
So is that just a comfort thing?
Yeah, so the study observed children's behaviour at the entrance of their mothers in a room. And the minute, so they'd be doing things like playing nicely with whoever was studying them or other family members. And then as soon as their mother turned up, the changes were drastic and rapid. So the child psychologist concluded that mothers are obviously the safety bubble of their child's life. When she's around, children know that they're safe and they can do or be anything they want because their mother will keep them safe.
You
So
know what I
whilst
was
this
thinking?
is-
You know the saying, you take it on the ones that you love the most?
Yes,
I just figure there's no one closer than a mother
that's right.
to a child, so that the mother cops it.
Yeah. So next time you pick your kids up and they unload, just look at yourself in the rearview mirror and go, they love me.
I'm so blessed.
I'm doing a great job.
And then
I
take their
am their safe
iPad
place.
and phone off them. I totally get it, though. Observing as a dad,
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah. I wish kids weren't like that. But
Yeah, the
anyway.
worst thing is you had to have the child through the pain, and you still get that.
Yeah.
Thank God we can read the paper in the toilet. Good on you, dads. We found a hiding spot.
I think this segment was just called contraception.
Bye, everyone.
Now I know everybody's thinking, why did he pick that video? All that key and laugh and he and ha ha ha. You see how much they don't give a fuck? Laughing. They see the negative things that are happening to children being set in this position, only having one parent and it being their mother. They seeing the negativity that it's bringing in the community, and it's bringing to the child, it's bringing to the mother, it's bringing to the family, and they are laughing. It's funny because they know that's not my house. That's not my family. That's not my community. Everybody in our community has a father in the home. Stupid bitch. What the fuck is so funny? What's so fucking funny? 800 times worse. You don't think they know that? Yeah. You think this is a secret? So, in the next topic is know when to let go of your child. And the reason why I wanted that video to play is because I wanted two things to be heard. I wanted you to hear the nonchalant laughter, and I also wanted you to hear the message of your love and your protection for your child gives them the necessary environment to act a damn fool, right? And I want to focus on the single mothers that the father is not involved, okay? I'm not talking to those who have a father and he comes and he instills discipline. This segment isn't for you. This segment is for the women who have nobody to turn to. Okay? The father is absent. He doesn't give a damn. He doesn't come around. He doesn't call. He doesn't do shit. Okay? This is for you. All right? I know and I understand. It's hard. I understand. You got to work. You got to take care of that house. You got to take care of yourself. You got PTA meetings. You got maintenance for cars you ain't got to yet. You got gutters that need to be cleaned out, grass that needs to be cut. You got all kinds of shit waiting on you. I know. I feel you. I understand. But this is what you got to do. You have got to find someone else to be an installer of information to your child. You only are going to touch so many circuits. You're only going to be able to pass so many messages. There are other fields that you're never going to reach. And I'm here today to try to give you a way. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over some things that you can actually do and you can implement to help you and the child. Okay. Because that's what it's all about today is solutions. We're going to talk about these problems. We're going to come up with solutions. So I want you, this is the number one thing I want all of y'all to try. And yes, it's probably going to cost you some money. But if you go about it the way I tell you, you might even be able to get it done for free. Okay? All right. This doesn't matter if you have a boy. It doesn't matter if you have a girl. It doesn't matter if they're tall, short, fat, skinny, dumb, stupid, happy, sad, smart. It don't matter. Okay? This environment is for all children. Right? I want you to go and find a sensei. I don't care, man, woman, Asian, black, white. Make sure you check their background. Make sure you do your research. Make sure they ain't some child pedophile, lurking, hiding, trying to touch kids. Do your research, right? Do your research. I want you to find a sensei and take your child to the sensei. And I want you to have a kneecap to kneecap conversation so y'all have a clear mutual understanding of why you and your child is here. You let them know. I don't give a damn about no karate. Okay? I don't know shit about it. Couldn't tell you the difference between a hand chop, a leg sweep, none of that. I don't know nothing about that. My child is here for one reason and one reason only. I need you to help me make this child a productive citizen in this community. That's what I need. This is what I can afford to do, and I need your help. And let me tell you something. If that motherfucker turn you away, blast his ass. Let us know, because I'll go visit that motherfucker. Reach out to other men and see if they'll help you pay for it. Call me. If your little fat ass boy or girl needs to go down there and get some training mentally, emotionally, physically, and you can't afford it, let me know. I will get the money raised for you. The days of I'm by myself, I can't afford it, I ain't got time, that shit is over. We can't all get married. We can't all come together and have the Brady Bunch family. But what we can do is come together, set obtainable goals, and work together to meet those goals. There's so many freaking dojos out there that's got like 3 or 4 kids in there. I drive by them and I don't understand how they still in business. I'm like, I know these fat ass kids ain't coming out here and doing no damn karate. How is he still in business? We ain't got no choice now, people. We have to come up with a plan and a solution to divert the plan that was going to put our children in their hands. We can't act ignorant anymore. We can't stand by and do nothing. I want you to find a sensei, and I want you to say, what are the hours that I can bring my child and drop him off to you? Drop him off. Have that little fat fuck in there doing kicks all goddamn day. He might not break that board for 4 years, but you keep his ass in there until he do it. Because guess what? That sensei is not only going to work on him physically, he going to talk to him. When he's sitting up there crying and he don't want to punch the board no more and he want to quit and he want his mama, he going to get down on his knees and get real close and personal and say, we don't quit here. That's not what we do. That's not what we're here for. Honor, courage, commitment, whatever it is their core values are. They're going to have a set of core values They're going to pass that down. They're going to instill a healthy fear of consequence. Because if you don't perform, if you show up late, you talk back, there's going to be consequences in that class. Controlled consequences. Consequences that you do not have the ability or the intestinal fortitude or even the courage to do that to your own child. You got to know when to let go. You can't keep your baby under your bosom for 18 years and then let him or her go in the world and think it's just going to be all right. That's what they want you to do. That's the plan. Make you believe that you're strong enough, you got enough money, you got enough backing by the government, that you don't need nobody. You can do it all by yourself. They know you can't. There's not enough time in the day for you to go out and work 8 hours, take care of yourself, take care of all the shit, and be able to significantly pour into that child. You can't do it. That sensei in your community should have so many damn kids to pick up, he got to go hire more people and buy new vans. He's got to upgrade his facility. Because, damn it, we damn sure got the numbers to fill it. We need to start implementing these senseis into our children's lives on a daily, because think about it, that's what they do. They instill discipline. They teach it. Pride. Honor. Football ain't for everybody. Basketball ain't for everybody. Contact sports is not for everybody. Some parents can't take seeing their children get struck by another person like that. And that's okay. That's the reason why I went this direction. Right? I don't think anybody's scared to see little Johnny kick his little fat ass leg in the air and hit nothing. I don't think anybody's worried about that. Okay? His little fat ass probably kick himself up in the air and land and hurt himself on the mat before anybody else hurt him. Okay? We got to do something. And I thought long and hard about, okay, what is a safe environment that is already established, that is going to teach the right things and not be toxic? Because I'm going to be honest with you, some football coaches are toxic. Some basketball coaches are toxic. You got to be careful about who you give your kids to. And if I was you, I'd go to that dojo and I'd sit in that class a couple of times, just to make sure he's not doing some stupid shit, not talking about some stupid shit. But most of the times when it comes to martial arts, discipline is the number one thing that has to do with everything that they do. Hell, y'all don't watch Karate Kid, I don't know how many times. You've seen all these motherfucking movies about this old little Asian dude that taught some little badass kid how to be good. Let's implement it into our children. That's just one scenario or situation. But we got to understand and we got to realize we are at war and we are fucking losing. We are not winning in any way, shape, or form. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I don't give a fuck about your trips, your fucking all the shit you own, the shit you got, the money you make. We are losing. A silent
Amen to that shit.
guerrilla warfare. Their tactics are so fucking refined and they've had so much time to practice. We are delusion of the losses that we're taking. We're sitting up here blaming each other. I want you just to imagine for a second that you're at war and you're looking at the other people on the other side fight and kill each other over shit that you did to them. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's how stupid they got us looking. And when I say they, I'm not talking about a specific race. No. They is not a specific race. They don't give a fuck if you black, white, Indian, Asian. They don't give a shit what you look like and where you come from. If you are poor, you are up for grabs. They don't give a fuck that you white. You think because you white, you got to pass? They want your kids too. They going to separate your house, and they're going to make sure little Johnny's ass is in prison with all his tattoos and shit, and they're going to put his ass to work too, because the elites don't care about you. I'm what? They wouldn't do that to me. Yes, they are. All them tax motherfucking breaks wasn't for your broke ass. This is not about black and white. This is about the have and the have not. And you have no idea what the fuck is going on. So every fucking day I am on this show, I'm going to come up with a new outlet for our single mothers to look for in your community, to take your son or daughter to help you. This is not about being weak. This is not about being weak. Fuck that independent, strong shit. We have to come together to save our babies. And if your fucking Christian Dior purse and your little fucking raggedy ass Mercedes Benz and your red bottoms is more important than your kids, boy, you got a special place in hell. You got a special place that's extra hot and boiling waiting for you. I don't give a fuck about pointing fingers at anybody anymore. I will never, ever, ever, ever do that again with now the information that I have. For every black woman that I've ever insulted on this show, that I've ever said something ignorant, I apologize. And I say that, and I mean that with everything I love, because I really did think, that it was just you making stupid decisions. I really believe that. And I feel stupid. I really do. I feel ignorant as fuck. But like I said, I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. And this goes way deeper than we ever thought. Okay, so for the last subject of the night, I spoke about fear of consequence. And that is the last subject of the night, which is healthy fear and why we need it. Operator, can you play that last video of the evening, please?
Oh, this one is about to piss some parents, teachers, grandparents, and caregivers right off, but I gotta tell you, a child will show their most authentic self and their most vulnerable emotions to the people they trust the most. That means that if a child is always very well behaved and a good little girl or boy in front of you, they don't fully trust you. They fear you. They are afraid of what you will do to them if they do show their most authentic self or if they do show their most vulnerable emotions. We like to say that it's respect, but it's not. It's fear. And all of that research can be found in attachment science.
So with that logic in mind, let's watch this.
No, I want bed.
You're sick.
No, I'm not.
You're sick.
No.
Lay down, be quiet.
So according to the previous logic, the child fears the father, yet trusts the mother. I choose fear. Let me be very clear about fear. Because if you don't believe that there's a such thing as healthy fear, you've missed the mark. And if we've never met, I'm Brianna, founder and CEO of The Educator's Advocate, a coaching and consulting group serving educators in the classroom and at the campus level with culture-forward transformation. And it starts with your child. Stay tuned, because if you're a parent or guardian, I have an invitation for you at the end. Let's talk healthy fear and respect, shall we? And this applies from delivery to death. When a human being is born, they experience the world through external stimuli. This stimuli acts as a training ground for the child, and the parent is a part of this training process. And because we are born with a desire to do all things contrary to what is good, not only for ourselves, but for the collective, we need external pressure. And here's how the parent or adult in the space comes into play. When a child sees you, adult, they see one of two things. Either number one, a person who has clear standards and expectations for engagement, or number two, a person who will let them do whatever they want. But watch this. Whether the child has a healthy fear of the adult or respects the adult has all to do with the behavioral intent of the child. Let's look at the example from the video. There were two adults in the space and a 3-year-old child who's apparently not feeling well. And the mother has the good sense to know that the child needs to lay down and is given a simple directive: get into bed. To which the child responds to the mother with fight and flailing. But the daddy is there, and just upon entering the room shuts down the foolishness because there's no need for rebuttal. The child has learned within my foolish behavior, there will be some repercussions with this one. And that's healthy fear. Because when that same dad is holding that child's hand as they cross the street, that child doesn't fear him. He respects him. My dad's going to protect me. So I invite you, parent or guardian, to my next Cup of Culture webinar dedicated to parents. We're going to talk more. Register today.
Fear is the reason why you don't speed. Fear is the reason why you keep your hands to yourself when somebody pisses you off. Fear is the reason why you don't steal when you have opportunities. Soldier Girl says, I choose healthy fear. Put that back up. All day long. They count me out of prison. My children had the same upbringing. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, fear is the reason why a lot of times you're not late to work, because you fear losing that income. Fear is the reason why you haven't cussed your boss out yet, because you fear losing that income. A healthy fear is what keeps you from making bad decisions. The number one thing that I was taught as a child was fear of consequence by my grandfather. That was the number one thing I know he taught me. Second was work ethic. My mother could be right downstairs screaming for me to get up and get ready for church, and I would just roll over. My daddy could be outside in the backyard 20 to 100 yards away and yell my name, and I would hear it, and I'd get up immediately. So healthy fear will always help you remember. That's what it does. It triggers something in your mind when you're getting ready to do some stupid shit. I want you to go back to that video for a second. And I want you to remember exactly what that little boy's response when he just felt his father's presence. The father didn't say anything. Snapped his fingers. And was able to accomplish what the mother couldn't with 5 to 10 minutes of talking. And I'm not throwing any shots at mothers. Please don't take it that way. It's just an instinctive reaction from anything that sees its father or a man figure. I don't care what the mammal is. It's natural. Because they seen you. I want you to remember the video before where it said that children 800 times more act worse with the mother. Why? Because they feel more comfortable with you. They've been with you before their first breath. You are almost an extension of them. It is not the same. Do you understand that your children knew you before they knew God? Think about that. They knew you before they knew God. There is nothing more comfortable than that. But that man, I don't know that motherfucker like that. I'm still figuring him out. He might do something to me I don't want. He might do something to me I don't like. So when daddy say stop, the strongest thing a woman can say is, I'm going to tell your daddy when he get home. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It ain't got to be daddy. I'm going to tell your Uncle Roger. I'm going to tell your grandfather. I'm going to tell your sensei. Mama, no. He going to make your ass karate kick your fat ass up in the air for 2 hours since you want to talk back to me. Mama, no, I'm sorry. No, get your fat ass in the bed. I'm telling. It's a healthy fear of consequence. Little small consequences create that mindset. It's almost like let me see if I can explain it. I want you to imagine that you're going up a roller coaster, right? And this thing is 1,000 stories up in the air. And all you hear is chick, 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 chick. And I want you to remember that feeling right before you get ready to go over. It's like this big, huge ball in your chest. And you're like, oh, shit. And then you go down. That's the feeling I get right before some stupid shit is about to happen. And that my daddy, he instilled that in me. Because I was the same feeling I got when I knew I was about to get my ass whooped. When I knew I did something or I was about to do something, well, first I did it. You know, I had to do it first before I learned my lesson. So I did something and I was all of a sudden, I knew right then and there after it was done, yep, that's an ass whooping. That's an ass whooping. I'm getting that. I'm going to get that motherfucker. So then after a while, it started to happen before I committed the act. I'm in the store. Oh, shit. Somebody dropped a candy bar right on the floor by the door. I'm a kid. My instincts is pick that motherfucker up and walk the fuck out. But I got that feeling, oh, shit. Nope, never mind. Somebody gonna see me. They're gonna tell my dad he gonna beat the shit. He gonna beat the fire out of me. Never mind. That candy bar it ain't that serious. I don't need candy that much. And I keep on walking. But the first time, I took it. It wasn't a candy bar. It was a whole bunch of silver dollars that my uncle had put in a freaking bookcase, in a can in a bookcase, and I found that motherfucker. I knew I wasn't supposed to take that shit. But I hadn't had the fear of consequence instilled inside of me yet. So as soon as I seen it, I saw an opportunity. We were going to the fair that day anyway. Oh, I'm going to have some money to buy me some cotton candy. So I went and grabbed me a big old handful of them silver dollars, put them in my pocket, and I just walked off from everybody like I didn't need shit. Because I was buying my own candy and I was going to play my own games. They found out them damn silver dollars was missing, and they came straight to me. And I started crying because I knew what was coming. And guess what? It happened again. That wasn't even the first time. Didn't do it for me. I went in my father's room one day and he had a big old can of quarters. He had like three, 4 cans of quarters. I went there and grabbed me 2 handfuls and went to all the stores and come to find out all those quarters was worth like, $10 or $15 each because they were real silver or something like that. I can't remember. He made me take him to every store and collect every one of those coins back because they were like valuable coins. And that ass whooping was the one who did it for me. Now that one was the one who hit that put the memory. I still remember that ass whooping to this day. A healthy fear of consequence, ladies and gentlemen, is what teaches people to stop. It's a preventive measure. Now, you don't have to go as far as mine did, but whatever you have to do in order to create that healthy fear, we all know there's a line. I'm not asking you to cross that line, but the number one thing you have to instill in your children is fear of consequence. Because without that, they will sit in a cop's face and tell him, kiss my ass. And now you identifying his body. They will sit in front of a group of other dudes that don't give a shit about them and say, F you, suck my blah, blah, blah. And now you identifying your child's body. The fear of consequence will get your daughter to go and intoxicate herself half naked in a club full of men who are looking to take advantage of her. Because why? She does not have the fear of consequence. I don't know how many times. Okay, hold on. What do you think that father did to command that type of reaction from that child? What do I think that the father did previously? Whipped that child's ass before. That's what he did. He put hands to cheeks. I guarantee you. That child knew that the fear of consequence had been instilled in that child. That is the great example. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you, operator. That is the best example right there of an already instilled fear of consequence. Now, one parent had it, one parent didn't. You seen that. Saw it for yourself. Live right here on the screen. That mother was like, you need to get into bed. You know you're not feeling well. You know you're sick. I don't want to get into bed. No. Father heard that shit in the other room and got up. He knew. The father knew. He was so confident of the job he had done. He knew he needed to, all he had to do was just walk in there. Wow. I've been in that position before. I'd already done the work. You don't have to repeat it. You don't have to keep doing it. Once it's installed, it's like a computer. Once you install that program in your child, all you got to do is go double tap that app. Just double tap that app. It comes right up. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, shit. Let me get in bed. Let me lay the fuck down before he start acting a plum fool. And after a certain amount of time, it would become instinctive for that child in every situation and circumstance that he has been part of. That will come back to him. A healthy fear of consequence. Ladies and gentlemen, I have uncovered something tonight. I've talked about something tonight that will forever change me and my views on our community. We have fell victim to another trap. And we were foolish during our fall. And we're still falling. Our women were targeted. There was a plan put in place to be able to fool them mentally and emotionally, to be able to sacrifice their children to a system that would take advantage of them to gain monetarily. Without knowing, we coddled our children, protecting them, thinking that the closer we kept them to us as an individual and the longer we kept them to us as an individual, the safer they are. Still ignorant of the damage we were causing. Being a protective individual, trying to cause as least amount of damage. What's up, GG?
What's up?
You must be still at work.
Yes, I am.
I can tell you back there with the money, girl. You shouldn't have put the money away, okay? Don't let them know where you're at. They're going to come and get the money from you, girl. You been watching the show?
No, I just put it on. Sorry.
Oh, man, you done missed the juicy part. You done missed the meat. You done missed the meat and the potatoes. All we got left over is gravy and a little bit of onion. But you know what?
Yeah.
I'll do a quick recap for you, and I'll get your thoughts on it before we go ahead and close out the end of the night. So listen, what I've talked about tonight is you've heard me time and time again talk about single mothers and all the statistics that are putting our children in jeopardy from women raising children on their own, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've heard me say this stuff on Facebook. You've heard me say it on TikTok. You've heard me say it on this show.
Mm-hmm.
What I discovered and what I talked about tonight is that our women have been targeted by a system that has profited almost $73 billion. And that system is the private prisons in America.
Okay.
Private prisons know that their recruits come from single parent homes.
Mm-hmm.
Single parent homes are delivering more people to private prisons than anything else combined. And to have legislation not put in place to prevent this, to have lawmakers ignore these numbers and watch them increase, to continue to put more institutions in place to separate us more, is a wide open highway to push as many of our children into prisons as possible. There are Black people picking cotton in Texas right now in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So with them knowing that with us knowing now that the prisons are getting paid by the government for every empty bed that they have. Every empty bed, the government has to pay them a fee. And so they are continuously making sure that doesn't happen by making you believe that you're a strong, independent woman and you don't need nobody, you can do it on your own. And the only people that are going to suffer from that decision in helping you live that life is our children.
Mm-hmm.
I ask you this. What do you think is the best way to motivate our men to try to step in and be the defenders of this institution that is making $73 billion a year? Because what I came up with, I'm not even going to share it yet because I don't want to persuade your answer. I want your answer to be, organic. So tell me, what do you think is the best way for us to motivate our men to come into the lives of single women and try to help them instill these necessary traits to prevent our children from going into that cycle of these private prisons and making
I think number one, as a woman, is more the motivation we give men. And let me tell you this, okay? Because I see it with a lot of people. I see it with a lot of men that, number one, they get frustrated because they don't got the motivation, okay? I'm not saying that it's our fault, whatever they do. They take a bad step. But as a couple, a lot of times we're not motivating our mans that, hey, you can do more. We push them more to do the negative as to do the positive.
Mm.
And let me give you an example, okay? So, let's see, you got some kids, right? And the baby mama saw, oh yeah, because I need more money, I need this, you're not making enough, you're not this, $10 an hour. You already know his past. So you shouldn't be like, okay, I understand this is what you can give me, okay, right now. And then I'm going to wait. This is what you can give me. We're going to work together until you find something better because I don't want you to go in that bad path again.
Are you talking about the actual children, or are you talking about the fathers of the children?
The fathers, because it starts there. Because you were saying that how are we going to motivate our mans to like stay away from that life, going to prison, to jail, right?
No. Well, I think it's too late once they've gotten to manhood. I'll be honest with you. I think it's once you got somebody that's in the system, to rehabilitate them and get them to never go back is a very, very low number. I want to say it's below 25%. Once these individuals are in the system, it's just a repetitive, constant because they just know that the odds are stacked so hard against them that the streets are always waiting for them, and it's just a easy out for any bad situation. What I'm talking about, the children and the single mothers that are living in the situation now. I want you to imagine that you got 2 sons under the age of 10. The father is nowhere to be in sight. He's nowhere around. He's gone. He's not coming back. You don't know where the fuck this motherfucker done went. What do you think is some ways that we can motivate men like myself and other individuals in the neighborhoods to be able to come up and create programs or start something so your 2 boys can have an influence of a man in their life that you don't have to fuck? You don't have to bring in your home. Because I think that's the number one reason why a lot of women keep kids to themselves, is because they don't have a lot of people that they trust and that they allow to be around their sons. So what is an idea that you may have that we can implement in our communities that bring a safe space for single mothers and men to come together to just be able to have influence for our boys and girls?
Well, you know what? I would say
that's the $1 million question, ain't it?
It is because you know why? Because I think that we need to start doing. We say that everybody has to do a little bit. I know there's a lot of community events that is out there, but are we really involved in it? Like it comes from the education from your house. It's a hard question because it doesn't matter like what we do. You can do so much, but if it's still that influence and your kid's still around that life, it doesn't matter what you do or how you do it. Your kids it's going to be a 90% that your kid's still going to involve in the street, and your kid's not going to be in the system because that's all what they see.
That's not true. The statistics.
I think it's true.
Listen, the statistics say even a man in the neighborhood makes a significant difference for those children's outcome. They have done studies where individuals were in single mother homes, but because there was a father figure next door or 2 doors down, like a friend of theirs, they went over their house and they got influence from their father. That has made a significant change just in those groups of people. It's the individuals who are under their mother's care and under their mother's care only. They don't have a male figure in the house. They don't have a male figure in the family that's spending a significant amount of time. Now, I'm not talking about the uncle that comes over on holidays. I'm not talking about grandpa that y'all see.
See, but I don't agree with the part that you say that. Well, I don't know. It's maybe your point of view, but my point of view is that I don't agree at the point that you can say that a single mother cannot raise a boy, a man. My mom. Wait 1 second. My mom raised me and my 2 brothers. They both retired from the army. They both retired from the army. We was born in Indiana, Gary. My mom took us from Indiana, Gary to Panama to have a better life because she said that Indiana, Gary wasn't a life for us. That she don't want her kids to be a thug, or she don't want me to be on the street having 20 kids. So my mom took us all to Panama. My mom raised us. My mom raised my.
She must have lost the signal. Oh, you okay?
And then my 2 brothers, they both retired from the army. Both of them.
Listen to me. I'm not saying all. All doesn't apply to everything. What I'm saying is this. Let me give you some statistics.
Okay.
Children brought up in single mother homes, right? Now remember, this is all. That includes the ones who did good and the ones who did not. Okay? 5 times more likely to commit suicide. 9 times more likely to drop out of high school. 10 times more likely to abuse chemical substances. 14 times more likely to commit rape. 20 times more likely to end up in prison. And 32 times more likely to run away from home. This is including all single mothers. So because your mother was successful, that does not negate that the majority of individuals are having negative outcomes. So we cannot say because one made it that it's a good route to go, because we have thousands for everyone that is perishing in this system that I just described and making people billionaires. See, what I'm trying to get y'all to do is zoom out. It's not about blame anymore. There is a literal system set up for you to funnel your kids to them. Your mother was lucky. She was able to prevent that from happening. But we cannot turn our backs on the thousands of men and women who have fell victim to this plan. So what I'm saying is this: I'm done with the blaming. I don't give a fuck about the statistics and how they got here. They're here. We've got to come up with a way to put men in front of our kids, because as a woman, you can only instill so much as one person. You can only touch so much of a person. Every boy and girl needs to have a healthy fear of consequence, and men are known for that. In all mammals, the male steps in and they automatically feel that healthy fear of consequence dealing with the male of the species. So I'm not saying that a woman can't do a good job. What I'm saying is a man adds to that good job significantly. So if the man is not around, the husband is not around, we got to get off this pride shit, because we're a team. And if we don't act as a team, we will continue to fail as individuals. So what I'm saying to you, I suggested taking kids to karate class. Find a sensei. My baby said on here, she said, the boys and girls clubs in communities have a lot of programs in order to put kids in front of men. But I don't know if those programs right now, with all of the LGBTQ and everything that's going on, are specifically going to focus on putting kids in front of men. Yeah, there you go right there. Boys and Girls Clubs has good mentors, usually at an inexpensive or need basis. So I'm asking you, what do you think is a good idea in order to get our men? I can't hear you. I don't know if you're muted. I think you might be muted.
Now, can you hear?
Yeah.
But I think that what it is that all these groups, and I've been saying this from the longest, all these groups, like the 100 Man group, all these different boys and girls. There's this other group that is single fathers. All these groups, I think that we have them, but we don't use them. There's a lot of organizations. Let's be honest. There's a lot of organizations.
Yeah, sure, well,
But what happened is that, number one, okay, a lot of the people, let's say, okay, somebody from the project don't got a car. How are they going to take their kids to these programs? So what I think, well, another thing that actually I was talking about this 3 days ago, that these organizations, they need to see how they can get more in the community, how they can get more in these areas that they need more, how they can work with the schools. Mm-hmm. Say, hey, how can I work what the school say, okay, can I come, one time a week and talk to the teenager, to the boys about my program, how they can reach me? A lot of these organizations don't go to schools because, of course, a lot of schools in more public, you need a lot of permission. You need a lot of paperwork because they don't want you to try to advance these kids. Like I always say, and I tell my daughter, why do you think that schools don't show you about your credit, about saving, about credit card, about, look, this is how you can buy a house. This is how you can start a business. Now they start little, but it's not that detailed. Mm-hmm. But why you think is all this they show us, they don't want to show us because they want us to fail. Not only Black, they want every other race to fail. Yeah. And then we don't do nothing. So it's the same that I say that, okay, these guys that they go to jail. And I always been saying that. I say, if I win the lottery, I want to open a program that when these guys come to jail, because I think they're very smart. but they have never been given the opportunity. They say that jail got classes. They eliminate a lot of those classes because of budget.
Mm-hmm.
So what opportunity you went to jail, let's say for example, selling drugs. You went to jail selling drugs, you was making, let's see, 10K a week. And then you're gonna come to the natural life, and then because you got a record, you cannot make more, maybe 15 or 10.
Mm.
So you are pushing these people again to jail because what else they gonna do? They don't know how to live in $10. They got, let's see, they got 2 kids. So what else they gonna do?
You're right, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that's beyond my reach right now with my resources. I don't know if I have the necessary psychiatrists and psychologists that are going to be needed to be able to break that institutionalized mentality. But what I can do, what we can do, is we can try to prevent more kids from going. So I think I'm asking you the wrong question. Let me rephrase my question before I'm going to let you get back to what you got to do. But my last question to you is this. As a mother, what would you feel more comfortable with? Because I'm going to go and I'm going to start reaching out to my group of men, and we're going to start doing something. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Where I'm at, I'm going to do something. So what, as a single mom, would you feel more comfortable with dropping off your sons and daughters to on a daily basis for a very small fee? Because we're not going to be able to do anything for free. I already know that. We're not going to be able to do anything for free. We're going to have something. But I would like for you to say, what do you think that you would feel comfortable with dropping your daughter off to every day for about 2 hours for her to actually get training? And I mean training because that's what it is. It's training to instill, discipline and leadership and responsibility and being able to have accountability and all of these leadership traits that we can instill in these people, that we can also instill a healthy fear of consequence as well. Because I suggest the karate class. I think karate covers all those things. Would you feel comfortable dropping your son and daughter off to a karate class, a sensei, and you know that their intent is to instill those leadership traits in them, not just to learn how to do karate, but just to help them mentally and emotionally grow with things that you not necessarily have the skill? Would you feel comfortable doing that?
I will. I had my daughter in Girl Scout. I do. You have to put your kids in other activity. You cannot have your kids under your arm 24/7.
Yes, and that's what we can. That's definitely what we talked about. We also discovered that kids 800 times more act worse with their mother than any other human. It's something about the comfort that you bring, the safetyness that you bring, that makes them act out sometimes to where you just get tired and you just like, go to your goddamn room. I don't want to see your ass. But sometimes that's their intent. Their intent is just to get away from you so they can go play their game. But hey, I appreciate you coming on. I was just about to end the show, but I wanted to bring you on and ask a couple of things for you. Go ahead and finish what you got to do. I'll see you next week, baby. Thank you for coming by. All right. I think it was I'm glad she did come on because I need to start bringing on mothers, and I need to start bringing on getting their ideas, getting their input, because now it's all about trying to create change. We've talked about the results long enough. And now we know the motivation of those results. Now we know that the greed from those results. Now we know the evil behind those results. Now, I'm not taking 100% accountability from y'all. Y'all know I ain't going to never do that. I'm still going to hold you accountable for your actions, men and women. But now that I know that there's a greater evil that we're fighting against, I got to move that to the side. And I got to focus on this big, huge monster that was hiding behind you, setting up the board before we even roll the dice the first time for their benefit. That's where my focus will be on. JB, if you're still listening, everybody is hitting me up talking about where JB, they miss you, baby. We need you back here. The show ain't the same without you. As I close, I hope everybody that was watching tonight and who will watch in the future opens their eyes to this huge issue that we have. It's bigger than we thought. It's deeper than we thought. And we all start coming together to be able to make a change to prevent it. Tonight, we talked about the targeting of single mothers. And we talked about exactly what it is, where it is, and how it is happening, and the effect it's having on our children. We also talked about knowing when to let go of your child and give your child to somebody else to instill the things different, not necessarily better, but just different than what you already do. To add to the situation, to make that child a better human being and lessen their chances of falling to one of these statistics that they are setting up that child to fall into. Lastly, we talked about a healthy fear, and a healthy fear of consequences, what we're talking about. Whether it comes from the father, whether it comes from an uncle, a grandfather, a sensei, a football coach, a basketball coach, gymnastics coach, track coach, I don't care. Somebody other than yourself. You are not the end-all, say-all, alpha and omega. It cannot just be one. They say it takes a village for a reason. And that healthy fear of consequence is a necessity for us to be able to remain out of the system. Tonight, I got a little emotional because I was disappointed in myself. I don't like being fooled. And I damn sure don't like being made a fool and hurting people in my foolery. But I vow from this day forth to not be that person again. And as y'all watch this show, I grow in front of you. I make mistakes and I'm human. I just hope that you have the grace to accept my apology and stand with me during the correction. I hope to see you here next week. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Share and hit that I'm not even thinking. Hit the notification bell. This is very serious to me, and I hope you see how much it's affected me. And I've had a long time to think about it. And I can't wait to get to work. So, hope to see you again here next week. Same time, same channel. Good night.